it's Nigel. Welcome back to my channel. So I did a little automatic typing session, and for those of you guys who don't know, automatic typing is essentially like a form of channeling messages. You can channel messages from your higher self, from your angels, guides, from your ancestors. Essentially, it's you know, our minds are like an empty vessel or empty space, and to receive streams of consciousness. So you can dial into certain frequencies or to certain streams of consciousness and start receiving messages from certain streams of consciousness, if that makes sense. So I like to practice my intuitive and empathic abilities by doing automatic typing sometimes to you know, I don't know, sometimes I just get downloads and codes and stuff, and I receive them through either meditation or through automatic typing. So I wanted to share with you guys some messages I got from this last automatic typing session, and maybe it'll turn on something, light up something in your grid or in your DNA. So that is why I'm sharing this, okay? So I said, we are not guilty. The soul's goal is to experience and to witness. We choose what we will witness or choose based on our internal programming. Programming can always be removed or rewritten. So when I talk about programming, I'm talking about like the things that we endure, like through our childhood, through our lifetime, the things people say to us, the things we say to ourselves. This is all programming. These are systems of program that our consciousness now runs off of, okay? So I said programming can always be removed or rewritten. So if you are like living off of a program that is contradictory to how you really want to see the world or how you really want to view things, for a lot of people, like they might have money blocks, okay, and that is because of a program. Or they might think they have to work really hard if they ever want to be successful. That is a program. So programming can always be removed or rewritten, okay? We are the original technologies. Think of us like the old school computers, the original computers. So we have systems and softwares already organically installed into us, which would keep us in flow in the natural harmony of things. And then also through indoctrination, through the human experience, through being, you know, a part of systems and groups and things like that, we can also install or download inorganic programs into us, or programs that are detrimental or descending to our consciousness. So we have the organic programs that can help us ascend to higher consciousness, and then we have the inorganic programs that will descend us and descend our consciousness, okay? So like I said, programming can always be removed or rewritten. So once you find out or spot those lower programs or the descending programs within your software, you can delete them, okay? We are the original technology. We can delete programs, we can add in new programs. It's just like, for example, like think of a person who only speaks English and then they learn Spanish. That is a program that they've installed in themselves. And then they learn French. That's another program they've installed in themselves. So they naturally might not have known how to speak that language, but they can install the software into them that now allows their brain to understand and remember how to speak that language, okay? So that's what I mean when I'm talking about programs. Okay, so no matter what the soul experiences, it must not judge, okay? No matter what you experience, you must not judge. No matter what you see someone else experience, you must not judge. Again, because the soul's goal is to experience and to witness. We are here to experience and to witness. Now, let's say you witness something that is, you know, not good or not positive, right? It's not for you to judge it. It is for you to internally set the compass to see that, ooh, that was not good, so let me turn in this direction, or ooh, this doesn't look good, so let me turn in this direction. So anytime something negative occurs, it's not for us to judge and condemn and feel shame. It is just for us to move in the opposite direction, okay? So no matter what the soul experiences, it must not judge. Again, the judgment is what keeps you grounded into lower densities. And we're all trying to move into higher densities because it shows that we're moving more from our heart space. When we are judging, right? Judgment comes from internal shame. So even if we're judging somebody else, we're judging them because internally we're carrying shame. So notice anytime that you judge somebody else, and then look back within yourself and see where are you carrying programs of shame regarding whatever it is that you're judging somebody about, okay? So let's continue. To intentionally maneuver, use your unlimited energy currency, aka your life force. So I really loved this download that I got, and it was that we have unlimited energy as human beings, okay? And the way that it was proved to me is I just took a huge deep breath, like, okay? That breath right there, that life force, the fact that I'm able to do that makes me abundant, because I can take as many breaths as I want, okay? Until the day that I die, I can take millions and gazillions and thousands of breaths. And in those breaths, I'm breathing in life force. And through having life force, through having this human experience, I am the master creator, because through having life force, that is infinite potentiality and infinite possibility to create something, okay? Because I have life force and I have a mind, I can create whatever it is that I envision in my mind. We are the ultimate creators. So to intentionally maneuver, use your unlimited energy currency, aka your life force, to create a better reality, okay? Use your unlimited resource, aka your life force, okay? Your unlimited energy. And again, energy is money, right? So if you have unlimited energy, that means you have unlimited money, okay? All you have to do is channel that energy into something that is going to allow you to have an energy exchange with somebody. And I did make a video about this, so I won't talk too much about that right now. But to create a better reality, use your unlimited energy currency, aka your life force. Feed thoughts into that reality. So if there's a certain reality that you want to experience, let's say it's you living in luxury, or you living in your dream house, or whatever the case may be, to make that version of yourself a reality, because it is a reality. Because remember, all potentialities exist on a timeline, okay? There's a version of yourself that is filthy, stinking rich, living in a mansion right now, and then there's a version of yourself that might be homeless and poor, you know what I mean? All exists, but the reason why you're living on the reality plane that you're living on right now is because of the frequency or resonance that you've been holding, okay? So whatever your reality right now is, it is as a result of the resonance that you've been holding and projecting out into your reality. I know this is like super communication and like, it's okay, let's continue. So to bring yourself into a particular reality, you must feed thoughts into that reality, meaning you must think thoughts about that reality and speak about that reality. Again, speaking is a form, like one of the first forms of manifestation. If not to think it, speaking it is like creating a vibration now onto the plane that you currently exist on. So that's why they say like speaking your affirmations or speaking things into existence is one of the quickest ways to get what you want, because the spoken word is physical, or is it's manifestation, it's vibration. Words are vibration, okay? So again, feed thoughts and words and energy into that reality. Get other people vibrationally aware of that reality that you're trying to create. Again, this is how we create timelines. If I'm not the only person who is thinking about this reality I'm trying to create, if I share this vision with other people, now they're creating the reality with me. They're holding the resonance and frequency of this reality with me. This makes the reality vibrate faster. The faster the reality vibrates, the more it is attracted into our reality, okay? What we are experiencing right now, we're experiencing because it's vibrated so quickly that it was attracted to us, okay? So we're installing new programs. We're installing the right programs. So again, we've been installed with a bunch of indoctrinating programs that is contrary or kind of deceptive to our organic programming. But now we are installing the right programs. And remember, the programs are already within us, within our DNA. You are never separated from from the truth or from the correct programs. They're already within you. The only thing the outside world can do to separate you from the right programs is to distort the files, or make you hide the files, or make you forget the files, right? Like, it's like in the computer, you have like stuff way back from when in your downloads folder that you probably aren't even aware that's in there, but it's there, right? But because it's so far back in the files, it's not consciously playing in your system. It's just kind of just back there, right? So that's the significance of installing the right programs, and also becoming aware of the right programs, letting them come online. So having conversations like we're having right now, even just through listening and thinking and pondering about these concepts, the correct programs can come online for you, okay? So next thing, when you're aware of the original programs, they light up and come online for you, okay? So even like if we as humans had the ability to fly in one time, right? If we had the sacred ability to read each other's minds, and we do have that ability, by the way, but you know what I mean? All of these empathic and spiritual superpowers that we have, when we remember what they are, they light up inside of us. Like, remember I was talking about your DNA? It can light up, okay? And when it lights up, it comes back online. What it means to come back online is now you're consciously aware that you can do these things again. And when you become consciously aware that you can do these things, you have the belief that you can do it, and then it actually manifests, because for things to manifest, there first must be the belief, okay? So yeah, when you're aware of your original programs, they light up and you come back online. Okay. So I asked myself when I was doing this automatic typing session, I was like, where is this consciousness coming from? I was like, is this my higher self? Is it God? Like what is this? Because I really am big about discernment. I don't just channel like any and everything and take it as fact. I like to know where this information is coming from. And I got the message and it said, it's coming from a stream of consciousness that I am aware of, okay? So whenever we get thoughts and things like that enter our head, positive or negative, it's literally just you tapping into a stream of consciousness. Remember, the thoughts that we have are not always our own. They come from an electromagnetic grid, or like, if you could really see what's really going on, there is an electromagnetic grid that we collect and grab thoughts from, and they come from the ethers or from this electromagnetic grid through the crown chakra and into our minds, okay? So that's why they say like all thoughts are not your own, because maybe you're just vibrating on a certain frequency to where you attracted this particular thought. So it's like your intuition, your thoughts that do belong to you and come from your higher self, versus inorganic programming or inorganic thoughts, meaning maybe you watched the TV show and I don't know, a guy was cursing out his girlfriend in the TV show, and now subconsciously you're holding that you know, that resonance, right? And now you're tapping into that stream of consciousness of what one would experience if they were in that particular situation, right? So it's like the things that we feed ourselves, like the food that we eat, what we watch, what we listen to, everything like that. Like even like people who watch the news, listen to the news, they're being fed a stream of consciousness. And after a while, if you are not checking the stream of consciousness that you're tapping into, you can begin to believe that it is your own, right? And we'll start to take things on as our own and be like, why am I thinking this way, right? But it's like anything that is not for your highest and greatest good, it is an inorganic program. So if you're having thoughts about like suicide or self-harm or getting hurt or anything like that of that nature, that is not of you. You have tapped into a stream of consciousness that is now feeding you that information. And what you can do to shut that down and say, I do not consent to receiving that stream of consciousness. I want to focus my attention on, you know, happiness or love or compassion. So this is a way to redirect your thoughts when you're starting to receive information from a stream of consciousness that does not, you know, uplift you or feel good to you, okay? Discernment. You can feel when something is right for you and when something is not right for you. And that is an empathic ability, the ability to discern. So I highly recommend that everybody work on that empathic ability, because it's so important. Okay, so let's continue. I wrote, right now I'm enjoying consuming content and giving my elaboration on what came online for me. So that's kind of like neither here nor there, but okay, so this is what I wrote. You get to decide what you're going to create. Remember how I said you have unlimited life force energy? This is infinite potentiality, the ability to create anything and everything you could ever want. You get to decide what you're going to create. That is your power as a human, okay? You get to decide. Our physical bodies come from our mothers. Okay, so this is another stream of consciousness that I had. I haven't done research into it. Like I said, all these messages I got are intuitive, so don't take them as law or as fact, okay? Again, it just came from a stream of consciousness, but things can turn online just by hearing stuff. So I'm gonna read to you guys what I wrote. Our physical bodies come from our mothers, but our souls come from the soul or the sun, okay? That is why we care so much about astrology, because when our souls come through the sun, okay, the sun is a portal or a door that you enter through. So this is why astrology is significant to us, or why we look up our birth charts and things of that nature, because our physical bodies come from our parents, our mother and father. It's the physical body, the vessel is created in the womb on the 3D plane, but the soul is not from this 3D plane. So the soul comes into the body through the soul, S-O-L, aka the sun, okay, S-U-N. So the soul comes through the sun and enters the body. And again, that's why we care so much about astrology, because astrology and using your natal chart is the blueprint of who you are, what you do, how you think, how you'd act. It's the blueprint or the framework. That is why we use astrology. So that is the significance of, you know, the sun and astrology and things like that. Our physical bodies come from our mothers, but our soul comes from the giant portal in the sky, aka the sun. And I think that's why when they say, like, when you die, they say you walk into the light, or you see the light, you see the sun, you're moving into the sun, your body is going back through the portal in which it came through, okay? So not your mother's portal, but the sun portal, the soul portal, okay? Let me know if you guys have heard that anywhere before. I'd never heard that anywhere before, so I'm not trying to take anyone's idea if they have said this before, but maybe if somebody has said this before, then it could be accurate. Again, it's just a stream of consciousness, and it made sense to me, so I was like, okay, that's fascinating, I like that. Okay, the next thing I wrote, okay, so now we're talking about Jesus and Christ consciousness. So the next thing I said was, Jesus is not the only ascended master. He's one of many teachers. Took one of many ascended masters to base the religion of Christianity on, but Jesus' story is copy and pasted through all cultures. Krishna, Buddha, Horus, so on. Same story retold for each culture. The story is of spiritual ascension. So the significance of these ascended masters is they show us the framework or the blueprint of how they reach spiritual ascension or consciousness ascension, okay? Jesus learned his true divinity. He represents a person reaching enlightenment. And also, I was watching Gigi Young, and she was basically explaining like how the Christ consciousness is the driving force that evolves and devolves in humanity, okay? Through people in society raising in consciousness and reaching their divinity, this is what changes societies again and again and again and again, and also helps society to propel forward again and again and again and again. So that's the significance of Christ consciousness, and these ascended masters. They are laying out a sacred framework or sacred blueprint on how they reach their spiritual enlightenment. And the significance of this is that we don't have to start from scratch. If we follow the lives and study the lives of the ascended masters, we don't have to start over from scratch. We don't have to be lost in figuring out things that they've already figured out. We can take what they've figured out, let the codes come online for us, and then move on, move further, okay? So yes, the next thing I said is heaven on earth. We need to become aware of this program and begin operating on it. The program of heaven on earth, okay? If the majority of us create this reality collectively, that's the direction we must move in. It's law. So basically I'm saying, when more people are aware of abundance, when more people are aware of heaven on earth, and if you think about heaven on earth, like think about in your mind right now while you're watching this, the happiest, most blissful, everything perfect, right, in sync in the world, like everything is just like golden, enlightened, happy, no worries, no problems, no struggle, everything is just bliss. Think of the highest timeline you could ever imagine. Okay, think about the greatest thing that could ever happen to you, your family, and everyone else on the planet. Okay, think about that. That is the heaven on earth timeline, and it is a real timeline, because remember, I say everything exists. Every potentiality exists. Okay, anything can happen if we as a collective, if the majority of the collective are tuned into that consciousness, that is what they will experience. And we know this to be fact because think about like the dark magic and dark occult rituals that were done on the people through the media, right? Even just look at The Simpsons, how they can have these predictive things happen 20 or put in a show 20 years before the incident even happens. Why? Because they created a timeline and sunk people into that timeline by collectively making them aware of it, and then subconsciously that is what transpired, or that's, you know, that's the outcome that was reached because of this programming or timeline dumping, you know. So yes, people need to be aware of the consciousness of heaven on earth, which is very real, and it's where everyone is in bliss and in abundance. Okay, and the law is, the more people who are aware of this consciousness and operating on this consciousness, the more we as a society will start to move into that frequency of heaven on earth. Okay, so yes, we can create timelines too. Okay, we can create timelines too. So how the dark occultists and the dark magicians, how they were able to create timelines and anchor people onto those timelines, we can create timelines too. That is our like our magic or our power as humans. When we band together and create conscious streams together, okay, think of everybody like having a different chord, right? Everyone who exists has their own chord or their own stream of consciousness. When we all anchor down into the same consciousness, it kind of wraps the cords together and makes a thick rope. The thick rope is representative of the timeline that we've all intertwined onto, if that makes sense. So I'm going to continue. You know you're moving in the right direction because you won't have to sacrifice. So you know you're moving in the direction of heaven on earth within yourself because you will not have to sacrifice. You never have to sacrifice. To sacrifice is to compromise, and that is an old paradigm, okay? So in the old paradigm, they'd say you have to sacrifice your time for money, or you'd have to sacrifice this for that, and blah, 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 and sacrifice, 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 right? And sacrifice is, it's necessary sometimes, but it's not always, yeah, sacrifice is not necessary on the higher planes or on the higher realms, okay? It's just not a concept that's necessary. Why? Because there's no such thing as lack. There's abundance. So if there's abundance, that means there's enough for everybody. And if there's enough for everybody, nobody has to sacrifice because everyone's needs are going to get met, okay? So sacrifice is to compromise, and compromise does not exist in that paradigm of heaven on earth. Everyone's needs can get met. Nobody has to sacrifice. So this also, again, if you're trying to anchor in this information now, anchor in heaven on earth now within yourself, ask yourself, where in your life are you sacrificing? Are you sacrificing by going to a job that you hate, right? Are you sacrificing by, who knows, like sacrificing doesn't have to be a thing. So let me just make this last point here. The split is happening now, and when we've been talking about the split, we've been talking about the split in consciousness, okay? There are some people who still live in the 3D reality and take everything the government says for law, take everything they see for law, take everything they've been indoctrinated into for law, and then there's another group of people who are becoming consciously awoken and see things for what they truly are, and kind of are seeing through the veil and understanding that there's more to life than what we've been shown, right? So this split split is happening now. And you can even see the split was happening in politics during the election. The split was happening with people who were getting vaccinated, like people who are pro and against it. Like, the split is occurring now. But the way to stay in your higher consciousness, I said, those who are consciously and spiritually aware, and those who are only deeply embedded in the 3D, okay? So marking people into their program. So I also said that the vaccination would be marking people into the 3D program like cattle, okay? So, and you know, if you're pro or against, that is completely your business. I would say the only thing that I have to say about this entire endeavor is do not try and shame or harass people into having your ideology. And I'm talking for the people who are pro-vax, and I'm also talking for the people who are anti-vax, right? Like, we can talk about these things in our own group, but don't try to force your opinion on other people, because you don't know who they really are on the inside, right? They might be the drones of society, and that's why they're taking the vaccination. You know, you never know. So I just wanted to say that this entire thing is causing the separation. You're going to see a separation in family, separation in friends. It doesn't have to be scary, but the separation is occurring because some people are choosing to stay on the 3D, and some people are choosing to rise to the 4D, 5D, 6D, and higher dimensions, meaning that they're no longer trapped or bogged down by the ideas and ideology of the 3D world. Okay, so that is a split that is currently happening. You don't have to be afraid or fearful of the split. It's just something that has to happen. It's been prophesied that it was going to happen, and we're just kind of just living with it. But the way to, again, get through it is to just be untriggered by what you're seeing transpire in the 3D world, and know that everything like this is being shaken up and rattled up because New Earth is coming, okay? And in order for New Earth to come, all of the corruption, all of the wrong things have to be brought to the light. So it looks like things are really crazy and terrible and horrible, but it was already crazy, terrible, and horrible. We just were under a spell, so we couldn't see it like that, right? So let the systems fall down, let them crumble, let people awaken through the trauma that they're experiencing. Not that it's a positive thing, but again, it must be necessary if we are experiencing it. And all you have to do is anchor into the reality of heaven on earth, even if that means removing yourself from the chaos or from, you know, the 3D world and things of that nature. So the very last thing I said is, so many people have already given up hope, which is what they wanted. And I said this because I was on Facebook the other day, and again, people are just having these conversations about the presidential election, about travel, how it's going to be canceled if you're not vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. And somebody had written on one of the posts in this group that I'm in, and they were like, see, I told you, they're gonna make everybody get vaccinated and there's nothing we can do about it, blah, blah, blah. So I'm usually not one to comment back, but I just commented under her post, and I was like, remember, you are a sovereign being. You are in control of your body, of yourself, right? You are in control. You're a sovereign being, something to that extent, right? And she comes back to my post, and she's like, basically saying she's already given up, basically saying like, my job is going to require it and everyone's going to have to do it anyway, and blah, 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 just basically sounding very defeated. So needless to say, I didn't respond back to her because I could see where her consciousness was at just by the response that she had given me. She basically was saying, I've already given up, they've already won, and now I have to get vaccinated because I'm giving my power away. That's essentially what she was saying. So I want to tell all of you conscious beings who are watching my video, and I know you're conscious because you found me and we're on the same, you know, station, right? To not give away your power, okay? People are tired, and that's what this entire COVID situation was meant to do, or the entire 2020 was meant to do with the riots and stuff like that. It was meant to get people really tired and want to get back to normal, so much so that they would beg for a solution that is not the right solution, but they just wanted any solution, you know, do anything to fix this, do anything to alleviate my pain, right? So that is the split that we're seeing in our society right now. The people who have given up hope and just want to acquiesce and go along with what the agenda is because they think it's the fastest way to getting back to some sort of normal. But what they don't know is the normal that they're creating is a normal sea of censorship and of control and of restraint and of domination, okay, versus just being in your own power and realizing you're a sovereign being. So that is all I have to say for this video. I have one more thing, I think. Just remember, all this is happening and transpiring to tire people out, and but you do not have to be tired out. You can be completely removed from the 3D world. So yeah, that is what I have to say, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed my automatic typing session. If you want to try automatic typing, I highly recommend it. Just start by getting like in a meditative trance-like state and just see what kind of information pours into you, okay? So thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, and also let me know what you think about some of the concepts that we talked about in this video, because I would be really interested to know what you guys think. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.